Starting the show yawning off rip.
How we doing? We're back.
We made it to episode 2.
Some thought we wouldn't make it here, but we did. All right, welcome back to Hot Route. This is going to be our first fantasy episode of the year as we kind of get into this 2025 season. So basically, the way it's going to work is we're going to try and do 2 fantasy episodes per week, and then along with some trivia sprinkled in as well. We're just trying to get our minds, into the 2025 season. The drafts are coming up. Redrafts are here. Trying to catch up with all of the off-season news, and we have a jam-packed show for you today.
Yeah, we got a banger.
Just trying to get caught up with all the new moves in the offseason with people to new teams, younger stars, kind of their outlook for the season. So we got a few segments for you today, but first we're going to talk about the news. So basically this is going to be kind of a recap of the last week-ish. Obviously, there's been a lot more to talk about throughout the whole entire offseason, but from this point on, we're just going to try and keep everything as up to date as possible. So number one, or do you have anything?
I think I was just going to say we kind of went with the direction of, outside of maybe the Cam Ward comment, just because it was funny. I think we tried to go with just like stuff that would impact fantasy the most.
For sure.
I mean, obviously there's injuries. We're not going to touch on all the injuries. It's just there's injuries in training camp for all 32 teams, probably like 10 injuries per team a day. So I think we tried to stick with storylines that will affect this upcoming season, and then just some notable, could be subjective, but that we thought was some notable notes to talk about, or news.
Started off, got a couple guys that don't want to be with their teams anymore. One being heavily involved for fantasy, and one, mostly on the defensive side of the ball. But first off, Terry McLaurin said he wants out and asked for a trade from the Washington Commanders. Nothing has happened yet.
Scary.
Yeah.
And then we did put in there, I mean, the coach is going to say the right thing per usual, but he says it's not a distraction. I feel like every fantasy player is distracted by it. But yeah, he said it's all business, and Terry has the right to speak his mind like that, which he does. I'm on Terry's side here. I think I am. I mean, he was there through their shit years, bad seasons, but I think the team's looking at it as he's 30. They don't want to give him that multi-year deal or lock down to it, but that's Terry's situation at least.
Does that change any outlook you have for Jane Daniels on the year? Because he's going to be one of the highly drafted guys this year. So does that change anything from the last
non-biased aside, because he's my keeper? I don't really know. I had that stack last year, and it was great at times. My team wasn't that great, but when those two hit, I feel like my team had a good week, which goes hand in hand usually. But I don't know. I think the rushing helps a lot. We'll see with Debo.
Yeah, it's kind of a whole other story.
I mean, I would say that's going to affect Terry probably.
Like if he stays with Washington?
Yeah, I just think it's going to be, unless he gets exactly what he wants, which who knows? We're not behind closed doors. It sounds like he wants multiple years.
We'll get in there at some point.
Yeah.
And also Micah Parsons basically saying the same thing with Dallas. He basically sent out, I don't know if it was a long...
A tweet or Instagram?
Yeah, it was a long Instagram message. I think it was like something he wrote like on his phone and just...
It looked like the Notes app.
Yeah, just posted
said, thank you, Dallas.
Yeah, and then classic, Jerry Jones as far as going back to the CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott contract negotiations, basically saying the same thing. And I think I even saw CeeDee kind of back Parsons and saying, like kind of tweeting to Jerry.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Just pay him. Like basically like cut the BS and pay him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one obviously not as much of a fantasy impact. It could, lead to more offensive.
Yeah, I actually think it could. I don't know. I'm kind of in on also my other stack from last year. I had Dak and CeeDee. Didn't work out clearly. But I don't know. If their defense is, which I think they were terrible last year, right?
They weren't great. I know a couple of years ago they
Yeah.
had one of the top. I think it was when Diggs kind of bursted onto the scene, the corner, and then they
Yep.
had that other guy, the
Blair
Deron
or
Bland.
Bland.
Yeah, with all the pick sixes and stuff. But yeah, as of late, they haven't been.
Yeah, it
what
could
they
be a
were.
positive for Dak if, I mean, there's obviously a lot of things that need to line up for them. Their line is shite.
Yeah, those are definitely the main points of news. A couple others. Bengals released Zach Moss. Cool. And also signed Noah Fant. So that kind of backs the Chase Brown hype coming into this year.
Also, put Zach Moss in there just because they signed, I think they brought back, right? Wasn't he there before? Samaji?
Perine?
Perine?
Not sure.
He's there, but I think he was there before. If I'm
He
not,
was there before, and then he went to Kansas
because there's
City.
another Perine, right? LaMichael Perine or something. I don't know if they're related, but yeah, we sprinkled that in there just because, I mean, he left the Chiefs, went there, probably going to be passing work down whenever Chase Brown needs a breather, but I think Chase Brown's the guy. Him.
Yep. And then Cortland Sutton, 4-year contract extension for $92 million. Definitely one of the less sexy picks that you can make, but I mean, when he's been on the field, I know he had that. I think he tore his ACL around COVID. Maybe
Yeah, I was looking. So
he's been consistent.
I thought he was actually better, but it's been the touchdowns that he hasn't had. Except last year, I think he had double digits, and then I want to say the year before that he had like 8, but before that it was like 1 or 2 a year.
Right.
So I think that's kind of been what was holding him back. But I mean, he's usually been around like 60 something receptions, so he's not like a big receptions guy. But I mean, with that signing, I think that's just saying, "Hey, Bo Nix, here's your wide receiver 1 for the next 4 years." At least that's how I took it.
Yeah, as not sexy as he is, you take him away from that Denver offense, and they quickly don't have that many difference makers. So big for them to keep him. And then we mentioned Cam Ward in the beginning. We saw a quote this week saying the press was talking to him after a practice, I think, and they were just asking him how the team has been looking, how the offense has been looking in specific, and he said they're very mid.
Yeah, he's had a couple notable comments, I think, this offseason.
Yeah, so just something to keep an eye on. I know, obviously, the first overall pick, there's some hype. He can kind of turn that offense around with Calvin Ridley and a couple other pieces. But that coming from him, we don't really know to think of that. So we just got to keep monitoring.
That last one just popped up. I saw it today. I think it might have happened yesterday. Shakir.
Yeah, Khalil Shakir, high ankle sprain, is week to week. And then also hand in hand with the Bills, James Cook didn't practice, and it's pretty much that contract situation. So just something to monitor there. And when you entered this, I was kind of thinking about the Bills and just thinking how insane Josh Allen is with the not amount of weapons that they
I was going
have.
to say, yeah, I don't even think that matters for Allen, but I don't know if guys were thinking Shakir might take us another step or something like that. This is obviously going to hold it back or whatever.
Yeah, they took away Stephon Diggs last year, and then everyone was like, well, we'll just Josh Allen look like he won the fucking MVP. So props to Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean, he's your what? I mean, depending on your league format, but 101 draft pick, depending on league format.
Definitely one of the first quarterbacks.
Yeah. Although I've been seeing a lot of Jaden.
Yeah, that's actually the Terry news is pretty interesting. So we kind of got to keep monitoring that.
My partner here hates projections, but they got Jaden like number 1 by far.
I don't hate that. It's also like the season he had last year. It's hard to think that he could even be better than that.
Jaden or Allen?
Jaden. Because he was kind of in the perfect situation with kind of that's Kingsbury, right? Mm-hmm. Kingsbury. Yeah. So just him and that option running offense is kind of the perfect storm. So if he can improve upon that of last year, that would be
and
even
he missed
insane.
2 games. I mean, he missed a full game and he played like 1 drive of the other game and he got taken out. So
right. No, I'm not a hater of Jaden. I like Jaden. But how much will he improve? Not sure. We'll see.
He's my keeper. I hope a lot.
All right. So heading into the bulk of what we want to talk about today, we have this split out into a few different segments. So first is going to be same faces, new places. We're going to talk about all the notable, at least, names that have switched teams in the offseason, along with rookies, kind of a few that we want to talk about with their outlook. and then also some second-year players as well, which is a pretty important subject to kind of, once again, talking about Jaden Daniels, just to kind of see where we are, what's our feelers with these players heading into the second year. And at the end, we're just going to talk about a couple predictions as far as top 10 fantasy finishers, seeing who's going to go out, who's coming in.
That'll be the fun part.
Yeah.
Maybe some hot takes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so starting off with same faces, new places. We're just going to rattle off some names here, and then we're going to probably talk about a couple of them, any ones that are notable that stick out to us. So quarterbacks, just a bunch of not exciting names, but I feel like we have to talk about them anyway.
Yeah, rip them.
We got Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers going from the Jets to the Steelers, Russell Wilson from the Steelers to the Giants, Geno Smith from the Seahawks to the Raiders. More to come on him, but this whole season, I'm sure we're going to get a lot of reactions from Geno and the new look Raiders offense. Sam Darnold, which is an interesting one because of the season he had last year from the Vikings to the Seahawks. Joe Flacco going back to Cleveland to where he was in 2023. He was with the Colts last year, Browns this year.
Playoff game. I think he started their playoff game, right?
Yep. I'm pretty sure I took them to win, and I think they got destroyed by Houston, right?
Yeah. I think he did bad.
I think they were favored in that game, if I remember. Anyway,
that was probably the what do they call it? It's like the NBA TV version of the first round playoffs. It's always like the Texans.
The morning game?
Yeah, it's always like that Saturday.
Two shitty teams? Yep. And then Justin Fields, which I think is an interesting one, from the Steelers to the Jets. And then we have the whole Colts quarterback situation with Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. So who out of those names, what name sticks out to you as someone that, you're interested to talk about or interested to kind of see their outlook with their new team?
Yeah, I'm just going to rip the first one. Rodgers. I mean, he already said, I think, when they signed him, that he thinks it's the last season.
Year?
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't know. Me personally, I'm not in on him. I think he's old. Gives you nothing on the ground. Like, I feel like to be viable, it's got to be either, 30 tugs or just super efficient and a lot of passing yards. But I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't have the season leaders last year, but I know Russ had weeks. Russ in that offense last year.
Oh yeah,
he had weeks, but like you never really were like, yeah, I got Russell Wilson starting this week.
Yeah, I think that without looking, I'm pretty sure that just depended on Pickens, like his kind of, if he was in that week or like mentally or on the field. I think he was kind of the needle for them and Wilson.
And I mean, we'll get to him in the receiver segment, but as far as the impact for DK, as far as DK's impact for Rodgers, I mean, maybe he's going to treat him like he was treating Devontae and just pepper him with all the targets, which obviously for a DK owner, you'd love that. I just think.
So you're not in?
Not in. Yeah. Not in. I mean, this whole list.
We weren't excited putting these lists together, especially the
quarterbacks. Yeah, the next two segments, there's some fun things to talk about, but like some of these names, I mean, even in the next one, the running backs, it's not pretty. But yeah, I hate to be the one that picks a guy and just be negative, but I'm out on Rodgers. Used to love the guy, but
yeah, I don't think you're alone there. I think a lot of people would agree.
Who you got?
I think the Colts quarterback situation is something at least to talk about, maybe not for the aspect of starting Richardson or Jones, but you saw last year when Richardson was in versus Flacco, how it impacted, the receivers, Jonathan Taylor. When Richardson was in, you wanted no part of Downs and Pittman versus when Flacco was in, you wanted Downs is like one of the hot,
Downs.
Downs is one of the hot waiver guys and Pittman was better. So it'll be interesting to see how those players.
Been some good talk though about Richardson in
apparently he's a new guy or a new quarterback, which is sick. So something to keep an eye on there as the season goes on, and even looking into training camp, like how, and even preseason, what do the targets look like for Downs and Pittman? What do the numbers look like for Taylor? Because obviously Richardson is more of a rushing quarterback, where Daniel Jones can be too. So I think it impacts those guys more than the actual quarterback position itself, but just something to keep an eye on.
Don't hate on the dimers.
I'm a hater.
Got you, Kev.
I'm a hater for sure.
I definitely think for Taylor at least. I mean, yeah, Jones rushes too, but like obviously coming out of college, and if we erase last year from our memory, I mean, you're the first guy for this for AR.
Why do you say that? I may have sold my entire soul for him
if we don't think about last year, I mean, even in I couldn't even tell you how many. You're the one that just reminded me that he came back into play. Flacco came in after the whole. He got benched, and then Flacco got benched because I think he had like a 4 pick game.
I don't remember why
like
he
that.
ended up. I just know
I
Richardson
think he had
coming back.
I think he had like a 3 pick first half or something like that, and then went back to Richardson. And I mean, you read me the end of the year. He had like what 2 or 3 20-point games.
Richardson at the end of the year, like the last quarter of the year, he was definitely startable. I think out of the 5 games he played at the end of the year, he had double-digit fantasy points in each one, and he had over 20 a couple of those. So he has the potential. Obviously, we've seen it in a few games. But
I don't think I'd be out on AR.
No, he's definitely going a lot lower this year. He's definitely a name that,
it's a risk
for as late as you would get him. You might as well just throw him on your team and see what happens. So going into the running backs here, the skill position guys, there is just not a lot of fun things to talk about. We got
Stinky.
Najee Harris going from the Steelers to the Chargers. Jordan Mason, former Niner, shout out, going from the Niners to the Vikings. Nick Chubb, long, staple Brown, probably like one of the Browns you think of when you think of them. They're god-awful team. He signed a contract with the Texans. Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders to the Cowboys. And then Rico Dowdle, who actually had a pretty decent year last year, is now going to the Panthers to split time with Chuba after Chuba getting that decent-sized contract. So
yeah, Chuba gets the bag after they thought they were all in on Brooks.
Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say with that situation because Chuba did such a good job last year. I don't think Rico is going to come in and take more than 50% of the line share of the snaps. So I think Chuba will still be good. And they also still have, I think they drafted a first round. Didn't they drafted a running back too, right?
They have, if I'm not mistaken, they have Etienne's brother, right?
Trevor.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's where he went.
Along with the other guy, what was his name? Who they got last year? Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I think he's there, but not. I think his knee is still a problem.
They were saying, oh, he started. I think he either started on PUP or he was just on the IR, and then he came back after like I don't even know 6 weeks or something like that, and then he got. Didn't he tear it again? Or he got hurt again?
He got hurt like after a couple weeks of not.
But like when they brought him back is when they gave Chuba the extension, so it was really weird.
Right.
Seven was just like, "What are you doing?"
Out of these names, or anyone that you care about?
Once again, being negative here again, I'll throw one positive out there. Do sneaky. This is non-bias aside because it's not like he was really great for CMC replacement. Jordan Mason could have some sneaky value. Aaron Jones, older. They probably still have Chandler, but
yeah, he's still there.
I mean,
Ty Chandler?
Yeah,
he's still there.
Not really been anything. I would just say we didn't mention it in the first part because I think it happened a while ago, but Mixon got injured again. I think it was his foot. I think I read that they don't know his status or he's already ruled out. I forget how long it was, but I mean, maybe Chubb looked terrible last year for when he did come back. He just did
really
not look
inefficient.
He just didn't look like he was ready to come back,
which is completely fair. I mean, considering what happened to him.
But I mean, there could be some early value there if Mixon's out. They still got Pierce hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with him because they loved him, and then last year they barely used him, so he's kind of just there.
I think he had a game. Was it last year? He had a game.
He had like a 180-yard touchdown run where he just was like, "Oh, there's Pierce."
Yeah, so I mean, Chubb could have some early season value, but where you're taking him, who knows? Other guys are just, they're not sexy to think about or talk about.
Very skippable. I mean, the Cowboys, there's going to be something there with Javonte and Miles Sanders. I mean, Miles Sanders has looked god-awful over the last couple of years, so I don't see how he can be a factor at all. Javonte had a couple games last year where he did well, so that might be something to monitor going forward. But, yeah, once again, not exciting stuff. A couple more exciting names in the receiver situation. So we got DK Metcalf going from the Seahawks to the Steelers, which is a big one, and the Devontae Adams going from the Jets to the Rams. George Pickens going from the Steelers to the Cowboys. Stephon Diggs from the Texans to the Pats. Debo Debo coming from the Niners to the Commanders. So we'll see what happens there with him. And then Cooper Kupp, which he also didn't look good last year, going from
the interdivision
in division
change.
from the Rams to the Seahawks. So a lot more exciting names to talk about here. Who's kind of one guy that you are interested in their outlook for next year?
Yeah, two. Or no, I was gonna say two Steelers, but one Steeler leaving, one coming to Pitt with Pickens and DK. Like I said, I'm not. It's not like I'm in on Dallas, or I should say Dak, and I think CeeDee's fine no matter what. He's been a top 3 guy for however many years now. He had that one crack season like 2 years ago. I'll go Debo here. Obviously, terrible with the Niners last year. I think this is my no sources here. I just think Debo wanted out. There was a lot of weird stuff going on there. People questioning his effort, questioning
his body.
Yeah. So, but the only reason I would even mention him, I mean, he's going to be slotted into the if Terry wasn't even a thing as far as him asking out, Debo would be wide receiver 2 because they don't have anybody else. They have Luke McCaffrey.
Here.
I think I don't know if they still have Zacchaeus. I think he might have left, but I know Noah Brown's still there. He's the Hail Mary guy that one game. So I'll just kind of like Chubb here. I mean, Debo's always going to be drafted, and Debo probably holds some value, especially going to a team with Jaden, but maybe a slight bump if things with Terry doesn't get sorted out, especially if Terry leaves. I mean, Debo's just instantly slotted into the wide receiver 1. Who knows what that looks like? Who knows if you're getting 21, 22 Debo, if you're getting...
He was really bad last year.
So were the Niners.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, I mean, it's not like I'm all in on Debo, but I think there's a slight bump there for potential usage and fantasy being fantasy worthy if the whole Terry contract isn't situated.
Sure. The guy I wanted to bring was Devontae Adams for sure. You already brought up DK Metcalf a little bit with his kind of outlook with Rodgers. Obviously, if he gets a lot of targets, could be something there. He's definitely disappointed over the last couple of years, but maybe with someone who feeds their number 1 receiver a lot, we'll see what happens there. Devontae is interesting because, especially with the Rams, they've, over the McVay era, they really only throw to the wide receivers. And with Kupp and Puka and, all those guys, even Robert Woods had like a couple good years back then. Adams is going to hold some value here. Whether it was pretty late in his career and he's kind of was wrote off after leaving the Raiders, but he finished obviously he was with Rodgers, but he finished 24, pretty strong. Like definitely a lot of winnable, like he won your fantasy weeks there at the end of the year. I'm pretty sure he had a couple 30-point games. But the question is pretty much just how much is he going to eat into Puka's targets, or can they both coexist with Stafford? So I definitely think he holds value. I still think Puka is definitely one of those top echelon wide receivers, but maybe it could be Puka getting all, within the 20s, the yards, and then Devontae is more of like a red zone threat.
Yeah. We will maybe a little teaser here to a future episode. We might have a mock draft episode, but I've seen a few already where Devontae's going high.
Yeah.
Like he's going high. I mean, he's not going higher than Puka, but he's going high up there. Puka's like a weird one because I feel like that's somebody that you should want. I don't know if it's the injuries that scares people away, but I feel like, especially with Kupp leaving, I feel like he could easily just be top. I don't even know how high that could be. Top 5?
Definitely top 5. I mean, he just kind of has to stay healthy, like you said. I think, with the way Stafford and McVay treat that receiver, especially that, all those different, that kind of that slot, multiple different routes receiver that Kupp was for so long, I think he kind of just slides right into there. And I think last year, the first year he had was insane, but last year kind of solidified, like he could still, and he kind of took over that reign as the number 1 receiver with Kupp still there. So I think he could do it, but I think he might have some touchdown, I don't know, regression or maybe not as much touchdown upside with Devontae.
Did we get a full? I mean, because they were both hurt, so we really never saw a full season of Puka and
Kupp.
Yeah, right.
No, but when they were on the field together, Puka was the clear
Right. Yeah.
guy.
I mean, there were games. I think in our dynasty league, we started Cooper Cup and he gave us a goose.
Yeah, there was a lot of Cup was not good last year for sure. All right, moving on to the tight ends, just a couple just to talk about. Evan Ingram from the Jags, everyone's favorite position to talk about.
Yeah, right.
Evan Ingram from the Jags to the Broncos, and then Jonnu Smith in that trade from the Dolphins to the Steelers. So not really much to talk about there. Johnny was a top guy last year. Evan Ingram, I think he was hurt for a little bit of last year,
Yes.
but just two guys that are at the low end of the tight end ones. So
next.
Okay, so
and John is going to a team that has Freiermuth, so it's just like it's kind of it's a weird
big
one.
poopy situation.
And Rodgers.
So all the rookies, obviously, we're not going to go over every single one. We're going to list, maybe the top ones that are going to have impacts in fantasy, and then we'll kind of once again just talk about a couple.
Sure.
Quarterbacks: Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, and Shadir Sanders. Titans, Giants, and Browns, respectively.
Great teams.
We all, you just want a piece of all these teams. Talked a little bit about Cam Ward earlier. Obviously, his body, kind of like his athletic ability, he has a lot of upside. But once again, that Titans team has just been a wreck for the last several years. So, and I don't think Jackson Dart's going to start the season. I think it's going to be Wilson, and it kind of seems obvious that, if they're going to lose games. So he's going to come in at some point. So not much exciting stuff to talk about with the quarterbacks there. With the running backs,
Dirk can't even get first team reps in practice. So
yeah, I don't know.
Can't even outbeat Pickett.
Basically, the quarterback class is not something I think to be excited about this year, besides potentially Cam Ward. So we kind of have to see how those first few preseason games go, see if there's any excitement. And he's going to go really late in drafts anyway. With running backs, so I think with this draft class, obviously it's very top heavy with the running backs with Ashton Genty. There's a couple more wide receivers that I'm interested to talk about, but with the running backs, Genty to the Raiders, Amarian Hampton to the Chargers. Every time I see LAC, I want to say Clippers. Amarian Hampton to the Chargers, Travion Henderson to the Pats, Caleb Johnson to the Steelers, and RJ Harvey to the Broncos. There's a couple of these guys, depending on their outlook. I know Hampton on the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh's offense could be an exciting thing, especially I've heard that he pretty much has the job already with Najee there, which I was kind of shocked to hear because I feel like Najee with Jim Harbaugh's system would have been pretty good.
It was either today or yesterday. I just read again. Najee was like walking the perimeter of the field during practice and
doing
just
what?
Not practicing.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know.
I know he's got one eye, but maybe he's got lost on the way to the field. Sorry, Najee. But I think Ashton Genty, obviously, all the hype that he's gotten going to the Raiders, basically just slotted in instantly as a top 10 fantasy option. So I got some names here for you, and I want to see where your feelers at with Genty, and who would you draft him over, and would you want some of these other names instead of him?
Hit me.
Josh Jacobs.
I'm pretty sure led the league or up there at least with touchdowns. So I think
he was like up there, like top 3 for sure.
Got to be a regression candidate. So for that first one, I'd take the rookie Genty over him. Why? Regression to Jacobs. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of just buying some of the hype.
We're going to have to see. But okay.
So yes, I'm taking him over Jacobs.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
Chase Brown.
I think of this list, I think the only one where I'd actually be hesitant is this one. Chase Brown.
Just because of the offense?
The offense, he was a dog last year. That Eckler looking kind of just numbers, do it all. Seems smaller. I don't know. I don't know his I don't know his built, but
he's very Eckler-ish.
Didn't even play the full season, but was still, we just did this.
He was a
12.
Yeah, 10 to 15.
So I think of this list, you can throw him out there too.
Devon Achane.
Yeah, Achane. Give me Chase Brown. I'm pretty in on him, but the other guys,
okay.
I'd be willing. I'm not saying that he's going to finish above or better than these guys, but I'm willing to put stock into Genty over Jacobs, Chan,
Johnny T.
Yeah, Taylor's another one where, because he has those games too.
He's a high ceiling guy.
Yeah, he has those games where he'll go 220 with 2 tugs, and you're just like,
yeah. All right, moving on to the receivers. So I think there's 3 kind of big ones that have been shining in camp, and obviously they've had a lot of draft capital as well. Tet Tetairoa McMillan to the Panthers.
T. McMill.
Travis Hunter, which is a lot of camp reports about him being on both sides of the ball, but what will that look like for fantasy? Which is all we care about. And then Emeka Egbuka.
A lot of hype with him too.
To the Bucks. I think those are the three guys worth talking about. Any one of these guys that you're excited about?
Yeah, I'll take Hunter. I like all these guys though. Following all the talks about all of them. A lot of high talks, or a lot of talking them up. I think Baker was really praising Egbuka, and with Godwin getting another like surprise surgery or something like that we didn't even hear about.
Yeah, he just had had a surgery recently, which probably that once again was in like the last month or so. So definitely newsworthy.
But a lot of people to feed over there, though. Obviously, they got because McMillan popped off last year. The other McMillan, not this one, but the one over there in Tampa. Jalen McMillan. What's his? McMillan. I think the last however many weeks he was really freaking good.
He was a touchdown guy for sure. With Godwin not there, he was kind of just filling that wide receiver 2 role, and as on fire as Baker was, he definitely benefited from that for sure.
Hunter, another thing like kind of with Genty, I'm just in on the hype. Another spoiler, probably my number 2 pick in Dynasty draft. Yeah, just playmaker. Obviously, we don't care about the defense. Like, we care about the offensive side of the ball. It's cool if he plays both. And I think his quarterback backed him a couple times now already, saying that like he can handle it and he's doing both. But just the playmaking ability of him, seeing it, even just if you watch his highlights from Colorado, I mean, they were never that good, but him, like that's the guy that you wanted to see. They had the big name behind under center, but Hunter, just to see that, I think it's exciting, and I think it would just be cool to say like, oh yeah, he's on my team. He plays both sides of the ball.
If you were to put a number or a guess, how many receiving yards align for him on the season, what would it be?
Yeah, I haven't looked at any of that.
That's the point. I just want to see what you'd say.
It's tough too because we didn't really hear anything. Like we weren't hearing. I mean, since he's been drafted, I feel like we haven't really heard like, oh yeah, he's gonna be our wide receiver too. Like, and we're gonna involve him a lot. I feel like it's just been the whole both sides of the ball thing that we've been hearing. And I didn't watch a lot of college, but I guess he's more of a ball hawk on defense.
Yeah, I think he's more of like a playmaker guy more than like a shutdown corner guy, for sure.
But
that reaction.
Yeah, I'll take.
Give me a line.
Never in on the Jags. Never in on Trevor. Never have been. Not youth up. I'll just throw out there. I mean, BTJ had like what? Probably
1,200.
I was going to say 1,100. 1,200. I'll throw a line out there of 608. 610. It's my over-under.
Market. Okay.
Receptions, who knows?
Moving on to the tight ends. Got basically 2 here to talk about. Tyler Warren to the Colts and Colson Loveland of the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we've been spoiled as fantasy players over the last couple of years to get these tight ends to come in with their rookie season, Sam Laporta and Brock Bowers of the last couple of years, where I don't, thinking back, I don't really think that's ever happened, especially in the last 20 years or so, a rookie tight end to come in and make that much of an impact.
I mean, so this was his, I think it's his 3rd year.
Who?
McBride. But when he came in his rookie year, which was not this last year, not the year before that, so 3 years ago, I think that was his rookie year.
Yes.
People were like, oh, this dude's a stud.
Yeah, he just didn't play.
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest thing is like when tight ends are drafted, usually it's kind of they're working them in. You don't really see.
Because it was Ertz, right? Then they traded him?
Yes. Or I think there was someone else. Like he was 3rd on the list. It wasn't even. He was kind of just developing.
I just remember when he came in, they were like, "Oh, this guy should have been our starter all along."
What I'm saying is rare for tight ends to come in and just make this much of an impact in fantasy, let alone being the tight end 1. So, what about these 2 guys? Do you think that trend will continue, or do you have anything interesting to say about these 2 guys?
Yeah, a few little tidbits at the word here. Both guys, obviously, first-round draft picks. Tyler Warren out of Penn State. Colson Loveland from Michigan. Both guys, I was looking at their their stats just from their last year in college. Tyler Warren saw 32% of their team's targets, and Colson Loveland saw almost 40%, which is wild. I think both these guys are exciting. As far as maybe like Brock Bowers was insane last year, and Sam Laporta came out of nowhere. So it was kind of like Bowers. Everyone knew about him, like in college. They were like, "Oh, this dude's going to be a stud." I don't even know. Sam Laporta was
I think that was just more of a factor of the Lions offense. I mean,
right.
he was a top guy, but Bowers had more hype for sure.
With that being said, being that their OC over there is now the head coach in Chicago, Loveland, I think he's going to make his way into that top half, I'd say, of tight ends.
Do you think he, with the pecking order with Chicago, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and now this guy, do you think he's going to fit in and maybe take away some of the stuff from DJ and Odunze? Like, what do you think Ben Johnson, his MO is going to be coming to Chicago? Is he going to want to get everybody involved, or will we see more of the same as we did in Detroit?
I also just saw a highlight of a trick play. I feel like that's what he's known for, right? Ben Johnson's trick plays. It was like a boot. It was like a play action boot, and Loveland was just wide in their practice, and Caleb threw a touchdown to him. But Keenan leaving, which was a kind of a security.
He was kind of had some sneaky good games last year.
I was going to say security blanket at third down. He's always been known for that third down, get the first down kind of guy, reception guy. DJ Moore, I know, had some, if I'm remembering correctly, frustrating moments last year on field. I remember coming off the field.
Well, coming off his wide receiver one season in 23, I think there was a lot of expectations for him last year.
Rome was just not, I think,
inconsistent.
I mean, it's probably coaching staff and as well as Caleb. Although Caleb, we've talked about this obviously off camera before, but Caleb had it's like 20 something to 5 touchdown. He didn't throw picks.
He was just under pressure a lot.
Yeah, their line was terrible, but no, I think just that OC going there, and I think there's going to be a lot of design plays, whether it's trick plays. I mean, basically, I just see it as the same thing he did with Laporta. Not that I'm expecting that or expecting a tight end one finish, but I think with an offensive mind head coach like that. But with that being said, I think Warren is also read up on him too, and coach is already talking about they're trying to. I think the offensive, he's got a funny name. It's like Jim Bob Cooter or something like that.
The offensive coordinator?
Yeah, for the Colts. He's already said
Jim Bob.
He's already said that they're incorporating Tyler Warren into like all these like lining up in different sides of the ball, different positions. So I don't know. I think they're both guys where say you don't get those top tier guys, whether it's McBride, Bowers, Kittle. I don't even know who else you want to include in there. Laporta.
Kelsey.
I mean, I think then again, you got to know your league. If maybe you got guys that freaking follow college football and they know these guys coming in and they want these guys. Maybe they're all thinking the same thing. So,
right.
But I definitely think these are guys that you can kind of sit back on, and people are maybe not the casuals, but the guys that like don't dig that deep. They might not be seeing these guys on like the ADP or whatever it is.
Sure.
But no, I think both guys exciting. Should be interesting to see.
So those are all the rookies we want to talk about. Just want to talk about a few second-year guys because obviously, I mean, there was a lot of impact players last year, especially, I mean, the rookies especially. But just kind of seeing where they are for year one versus year two, kind of just where we see them, what are our feelers on them, basically the same thing. So with quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels, obviously was the darling of last year. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix, JJ McCarthy.
Once you take it out, just start off.
Round out the quarterback tier. We already talked a lot about Jaden and Caleb, but JJ McCarthy, I think, is interesting. He kind of got robbed of his rookie year last year because of the injury, but it just feels like, his outlook He's just given the starting job this year with Kevin O'Connell. It just seems like he has been making that offense work, especially in terms of fantasy goodness. 2022, Cousins was the quarterback 8, average 18.7 points per game. Or no, he was a quarterback 8 in 2022. 2023, he averaged 18 points per game over 8 games. And then I was about to say Romeo Dobbs. Josh Dobbs came out of nowhere, had some good games, especially if you're in a 2-quarterback league. He was definitely viable.
Beat the Niners at home.
And then obviously last year, Sam Darnold was QB number 9, obviously coming basically his lost career.
Seeing ghosts, Sam Darnold.
Came to Minnesota and was just insane. Like going as probably like a quarterback 25 to 30 in fantasy drafts, and he gave you a quarterback 1 season. So we've seen some things from JJ McCarthy. Obviously, this was going back to last year's preseason, but I think just the weapons they have there. I think Kevin O'Connell, he just seems to be the quarterback. I don't want to say whisperer, but especially for fantasy, like they're going to produce. So that's why I'm excited about it.
Who knows, sitting out too, like they used to do in the old days.
Yeah, could have learned a lot last year.
Yeah, all it could have done is probably helped him. Learned a lot.
Mm-hmm. So that's the quarterbacks. Like I said, we already talked about Jaden, Caleb. It's safe to say we're in on both of them. Or like we're excited about.
Yeah, the only thing. So like, I've seen this and heard it on different shows, but Jaden, just the whole sophomore slump thing. I think I was reading that Kyler Murray was like one of it was very, very few amount of quarterbacks to actually, like, if they were good, like take like a even bigger leap in their second year. Jaden, that'll be interesting to see, because I think before the season it was Caleb or Jaden, like which do you like better, right? And then was it week 3, week 4, whenever Jaden had the Cincy pass, his Monday night,
put him on the map.
So I'm biased here. He's on my fantasy team, so I definitely I'm just curious. Like, I'm hoping there's an even more of a step forward, but yeah.
So that's the quarterbacks. Going to the running backs. Not a lot of fun names to talk about here. Bucky Irving is definitely the one that kind of just came out of nowhere last year for the Bucs. Trey Benson, Tyrone Tracy, Blake Corum, Bray Davis, Braylon Allen, a lot of like handcuff situations. I think Tracy with I
think that's the most interesting one.
The whole Scadaboo thing.
Yeah, there's been more and more talk about
who's gonna get that job, and how much do we even care because of the Giants?
Not that this matters either, but I just saw a post about Scadaboo, and he has like his Madden ratings are insane. Like I
actually saw that too.
He's got like
all his individual.
His agility is like 5 better than Henry. His strength was like better than like Josh Jacobs, where Josh Jacobs is like, if he didn't lead the league, it's always like him and Connor. I feel like the broken tackles. It's just like Jacobs is like one of the stronger backs there is. So I don't know. There's a lot of that's obviously not that even matters, but even in their training camp, like you're seeing clips of Scadaboo like breaking touchdown runs here, and there's just been a lot of positive talk with Scadaboo.
Right. So yeah, a lot of these guys are handcuff situations. Like Braylon Allen would be valuable if Reese ever missed time. We saw Ray Davis be valuable when James Cook missed time last year.
That one might be one to monitor.
Blake Corum, if Kyron misses time, like all these workhorse guys, we assume that these guys, and Trey Benson with Connor as well, it's pretty much all similar situations. With the main guy were to be out, these guys would be next up and potentially a workhorse role.
Yeah, with Bucky, it's just, can he repeat last year?
I don't know. I feel like he's just kind of solid and on a good offense.
If I'm not mistaken, they still got Sean Tucker and
Rashad White. Yeah, they're both there. So
Bucky's just not the reception guy. He does not get targets. Not. So if he starts getting that in his bag, then we could see it even. I don't know. You're the Baker guy here. Did he even target?
No, it's more Rashad. Like, especially like when Bucky.
But just mean like run. Like, I feel like Baker's the guy to like go for a pass.
No, if Bucky was in, like, it was mostly like a handoff most of the time. Like, I don't foresee, especially with Rashad White still being there, I don't see him taking over that role. It seems like they kind of found something that they like with Bucky and Rashad, but what do I know? Going to receivers, lots of juicy fantasy, whatever you want to say.
Some Hugo.
Yeah, so Marvin Harrison, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, Lad McConkey, Roma Dunze, Xavier Worthy, like all those guys, I think probably exceeded expectations. Like, obviously Neighbors and Marv were the two guys that were drafted high, like draft capital for NFL teams, but Brian Thomas, he exceeded expectations. Lad McConkey, he exceeded expectations. Worthy was kind of like a more of a Tyreek Hill replacement as the speedster down the field, but like the way they used him as like a gadget guy and into the Super Bowl as well, like he like that whole playoff run, he had a huge impact. So I think he kind of exceeded what people were thinking. And then Keon Coleman, Ricky Pearsall, Xavier Legette, kind of that next tier of guys that are just kind of there. I'll talk about Malik Neighbors first. Is just, I don't know what it is about him. I think it's just the Giants that I'm just not excited about him at all. Obviously, he was kind of in a Brock Bowers situation of just like necessity, just needs to get peppered. Obviously, he's really talented, but will this be better or worse with Russell Wilson as it was last year with Locke and DeVito and all that? I don't know. He's probably going to get peppered with targets again. Hopefully he stays healthy. I know he left with like 2 separate injuries throughout the year.
Yeah.
But I'm just a little iffy about him. I don't know why. I probably not a good reason.
Marv?
Marv.
You buying bulked up Marv hype?
Oh God, you're asking the wrong person. It's just, I had Kyler on my fantasy team last year, and watching every second of the Cardinals was just an absolute waste of time. But yeah, I've seen quotes over the last week that people are like shocked how much weight he put on. Like they thought he's like the pictures were AI generated and all this stuff. Am I buying into some hype?
I mean,
I want to. This offense should be fun. Like that's the annoying part is Kyler McBride. Connor's like not sexy, but like he gets the job done, has been for a while now. Marv, like they should be an explosive offense, and they were just not last year. So hopefully they didn't change the coach. They didn't change the offensive coordinator. So hopefully they're fixing something, because that was not fun at all to watch last year. Lad McConkey. So Marv, BTJ, Neighbors, and Lad. Those are kind of the main guys that now were last year. I know Marv and Neighbors, they were in fantasy. They took pretty high draft capital of a pick, but all these guys are taking a leap from where they were last year. Even I feel like Marv's being drafted in the same spot as well. But rank these guys in order.
Jacked up Marv. People are buying into it.
Yeah. Rank these guys in order of guys you would want on your fantasy team. So Marv, Brian Thomas, Neighbors, and Lad.
And it doesn't matter where I'm getting them in the draft.
Just like, or you can say like, how will they finish? How about that?
To rank those guys, I'd probably put BTJ first, just because I saw it. And like, I mean, besides Marv, I feel like all Neighbors, and what was Neighbors, like 7?
Top 10, 8? But he missed a few games.
Yeah. And it's kind of like what you said. Like, Russ is your quarterback. I mean, I don't know how much juice he's got left. The Giants are terrible. What's their, it's like 5.5 is their win total. I'll probably go BTJ 1. I like Lad. He went off in the playoffs too. The game that was Stroud, right? That was against Houston. I like Lad. Not buying into the huge hype. QJ.
Is there even more huge hype? I think that's gone.
Yeah. I'd probably go. I say that, and like I might have Lad 4th. So
which is not, I don't think, an indictment of Lad. It's just these 4 guys have kind of just all jumped into that top 15, 10 receiver talk. And so we kind of need to figure out just what we're doing with them.
I'm going to bump Marv ahead of Neighbors.
So BTJ, Marv, Neighbors, Lad.
Yeah. That would be my order. I haven't done my rankings yet, so I could tell you right away if I had them done. But
that's why the question's fun.
I would be putting my chips in on Marv taking the biggest step.
Okay.
But I kind of see BTJ staying where he's at. Yeah. And then maybe Neighbors taking a little bit of a step back. I don't know. It's kind of like I view Russ how I view Rodgers, honestly.
It's like, not fun.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And with that being said, I do like Lad, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's going to be a run-heavy offense in Chargers.
I think they want it to be more run-heavy than it was last year, obviously bringing in Najee and the rookie.
Yeah.
So we could see a little bit of a dip for Ladd where it was just more out of necessity last year of Herbert kind of airing it out.
Yeah, and I'll sneak in there. Ricky P.
Yeah, I was going to say Adunze, Worthy, Keon Coleman, Ricky P, Leggett.
Leggett, there's too many guys there. I can't even tell you. Like, they got Coker, they got Leggett. They just drafted a guy. They still have 38-year-old Adam Thielen. So, although I like you, Bryce, I don't have much on that. Ricky P, I'll give it a little sneaky with Ayuk out. I think the Niners defense could be worse, which means they got to be better on offense.
Mm-hmm.
CMC, that would also rely on CMC being healthy. But if CMC's there,
it's kind of like the domino question of fantasy. Will he stay healthy? And then if it's a yes or no, everything else will fall into
Ricky
place.
P has also not been healthy. I mean, he started training camp on the
give him another shot.
Training camp pup list, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Oh, this year.
This year. Yeah. But he's already off. He's been practicing.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll give a little sneaky flex play for Ricky P.
Yeah, a lot of change with the Niners. It'll be interesting to see, especially with that passing game. Kind of behind Kittle, looks like what does everything else look like? Obviously, Pearsall is going to be a big factor there. So, a quick question with Bowers.
You take this one. I want you to take this one.
What's the question?
How early are you comfortable drafting him? I gave you my little rookie tight ends.
Sure. I think with Bowers and even just thinking about the tight end position in general, it's always just like there's a few guys, and if you don't get them,
how do you approach it?
Just screw it. And you're just going to end up taking a guy later with more upside where you can get more top line running backs, receivers in those second, third, fourth, fifth rounds. How high am I comfortable drafting him?
It's always league dependent, obviously, but
yeah, I mean, I just know in those second and third rounds, there's just more valuable, positions there where if you take a tight end, you can't really take a quarterback. I'm just speaking in standard leagues here. Like if you take a tight end early, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself with taking another, like a quarterback later. And then it just leaves like the position with more depth that you need, like running back, receiver. It just kind of leaves that out to dry and your team looks a lot more thin. How early am I comfortable drafting him? Probably the third round, which means he probably won't be in any of my teams. Usually with tight ends, I kind of just target a couple of guys where receivers, running backs, I have like a whole list of tiers that I would be okay with taking. Tight end is kind of just like a shit show.
It's also hard to like if you draft a tight end in the 9th round, like, all right, you got to give me 9th round value and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like if you're drafting a guy that's not saying that he can, I mean, he was cracked last year as a rookie, but if you're taking that guy in the 3rd, which
I haven't,
if you compare whatever's in that same round, like same 3rd round, like
we're going to be diving into rankings and ADP here later. I just know for a fact, just basing it off of last year, that he's going to be like, he might even be like a 1st round guy, like first, because Kelsey.
Yeah, I think he's going to replace Kelsey from 3-4 years ago.
Late 1st, 2nd round. I just think, you brought up the rookie tight ends earlier. Like I would much rather want one of those guys.
Take a shot on those and
build
up
later
your other
rounds.
positions. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so
I also wouldn't mind having him.
I don't think it'd be a bad thing. You won't be unhappy.
It's the best part.
We got a couple predictions here for you. So one little exercise we wanted to do was we were looking at the top 12 or like the position ones, like the QB1.
Yeah, the tier ones.
Tier 1 guys last year that we think are out, and then who would be a guy that we think is going in.
Yeah, so each position we'll pick a guy coming in, pick a guy going out.
We're going to go quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end. Do you want to start us off with your quarterback? So who's out and who's in?
Sure. I will start. Should I go out first or in first? What do we want here?
Who's coming out?
I'm going Bo Nix out.
Ooh.
There might be some hot takes here, guys. So
another second-year guy we didn't talk about, but we knew we were saving him for this.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a list here on my reasoning why Bo Nix is out. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we got Lamar Jackson, Joe Burr, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, Jaden Daniels, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, Patty Mahomes, Kyler Call of Duty Murray, Russell Wilson. Let's ride Russell Wilson. Sam Darnold, CJ Stroud, Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, and Bryce Young. What does all that mean? All of those guys had a better PFF grade, passing grade,
Than him last
than
year?
Bo Nix. Yes.
Bryce Young? I'm just kidding.
So that's based on decision-making, accuracy, and timing, right? So I'm looking at it as, okay, he had this, I think his second most passing touchdowns for a rookie. I think, is it Baker? Baker have number one?
Baker had a lot.
I think Baker
And
had it.
CJ Stroud had a lot.
I think Baker has it. And
Okay,
then
back in
I'm
the
pretty
late
sure
2010s.
Bo Nix was second. So one reason being, or one factor why I'm taking him out, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of passing touchdowns. I'm going to say that's going to regress a little bit. Also, with me naming all those guys, you might be wondering, like, well, how the hell was he quarterback 7 then?
Mm-hmm.
He had the second most touchdowns for a rookie in NFL history, despite having the 20th ranked passing offense in the league.
Okay.
Broncos got little to nothing from Javonte. Well, yeah, Javonte, Jaleel McLaughlin, Audric Estime. There's probably some more in there.
That was the main three.
And them bringing in RJ Harvey. I think they still have McLaughlin.
They still have
but
McLaughlin. Yeah.
I don't. So, but bringing in that, I mean, you drafted that rookie.
Pretty
running
sure
back.
Dobbins went there too.
Yes,
J.K.
yes.
Dobbins.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So Dobbins being there, drafting RJ Harvey in the first round, and sneaky, thanks to PFF, adding Evan Ingram, who is actually a top tier run blocking tight end. Didn't know that.
Shout out Evan Ingram.
Put more of an emphasis on the run game, I think. Sean Payton loves his running backs also. So I think Nix could be more efficient, which I think he was already efficient. But I think those two guys getting that rookie, I mean, Dobbins showed us something last year that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
He's got two calves. He's not.
He got 2 legs.
He's got 2 legs. I think those guys are going to steal some points away from Nix.
Okay.
And I think that touchdown total comes down.
So a little touchdown regression and kind of the shift in philosophy of their
Also,
offense.
he played the Chiefs like practice squad in week 18 and put up like 45 fantasy points, which if you put that game to like 18-20, I'm pretty sure he's like out of the top 12.
Okay.
So that's who I got going out. Who I have, one of the guys I have replacing him, I guess. I think it's the obvious answer, or the obvious reason is because he was out most of the year, but I'm going Dak. Adding Dak into that tier 1, as much as it's fun to see the Cowboys do bad and hear Jerry freaking just
say whatever,
go on rants. And obviously the most recent one with, I mean, I had this in here before even the Parsons thing, but I think Dak's a good fantasy quarterback. I think the years where he's actually played and been healthy, I mean, he's got a quarterback like 3 or 4 in there, led the league in touchdowns a few years ago.
Season-ending injuries.
Yeah, so, and then, I mean, CD, he got Pickens, but he's going to need some things to go his way. McCarthy's out. Their offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer, is now the head coach. He was also there when Dak finished quarterback 4 in fantasy. So there's familiarity there. There's comfort level there. Their line is trash. It was trash last year. Once again, I had Dak, and I had to play Cooper Rush. I mean, that dude just 8 sacks. But I think they also added an offensive line coach. So I think they know that they need to improve that. Is it Zach Martin? Retired.
Yep.
Which was like him, and I think before him it was that other guy. I forget his name. Tyron
Smith.
Dak doesn't have those guys anymore. So we'll see if Dak's going to be able to deal with that and maybe scramble a little bit more. And adding Pickens, he's basically a wide receiver 1 playing as wide receiver 2 now. It can only really help.
A good weapon.
I think Dak does carry some sneaky value with his legs, especially around the goal line.
Yeah.
And as long as Javonte and Miles Sanders can provide something, because
oh god,
I think it'll take some stress off Dak's shoulders. But if they don't, I mean,
I think that's
it's
even
going to be
more
a pass
of
heavy.
Yeah.
Like, and their defense was terrible last year. So if that doesn't improve, like Dak's going to have to pass. I know he wasn't great in the games that he played last year. I think he was like 3 and 4. But yeah, that's who I have going in.
All right, I got
Who you got?
I got Sam Darnold going out. This is definitely, I think Nick's was definitely more of a talking point. I think Sam Darnold going out is more of the layup. But just, once again, talking about Kevin O'Connell, what he brought out of him in 24, going to this weird Seahawks team where I don't even know the direction that they're going with getting Kupp and Darnold. Like if you told me that they wanted Darnold with losing Geno Smith, I'd be like, okay, like what's your strategy there? So I just think there's going to be a little regression there. Obviously, the weapons are worse.
Yeah.
In Seattle, like not having Jefferson amongst that juicy Minnesota offense. So I think that one's more of a layup. And then I got a good one for you for an in.
This is coming in. Okay.
Justin Fields. So obviously he just had the toe thing, right?
Yeah.
The toe injury thing.
Which people freaked out about, and then he was back like, 2 days later?
Putting that aside, I think just give Fields, we've seen him do well in Chicago when he had a full year. Once again, we're talking fantasy here and not real life NFL, because clearly he hasn't shown he can do anything.
Yeah, go 4-13 Jets or whatever, however many games. But
I just think with the situation he was in last year with him and Wilson, they clearly wanted Wilson to be the guy. And I think in New York, there's not anyone ready to kind of just jump in and take his job right away. He's got his number one guy in Garrett Wilson. I love you, Garrett Wilson, so much. So 2 years, was it 23 where he was in? Yeah, because he was in Chicago in 23 when DJ Moore, like he can support a wide receiver one, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, yeah. What was his finish? Didn't he have a
DJ Moore was top 10.
No, Fields. Wasn't he cracked?
Yeah, he was good. He was good. Once again, not real life good, but
fantasy.
With the rushing is the fantasy cheat code for quarterbacks. I just think if he gets a whole full season in, with hopefully Breece Hall could be better than he was last year, and just having Garrett Wilson as his number one guy, I just think he has a chance to creep into the top 10.
Yeah, you love the Russian quarterbacks. It's just like, I don't know. Yeah. Those are the guys you like seeing or you like watching, because you never know, you could just break one out.
Yep. All right, who you got at running back?
Okay, coming out. Sorry to hurt your feelings here. I'm going James Cook. James Cook. This is my pick before even the stuff that happened today, so I love that. Once again, I hit on this with Jacobs. Cook tied for the league in rushing touchdowns with 16. I think, was it 2 years? Was it year before that where he only scored?
He had 2 in 23.
So came out of nowhere.
Kind of an improvement.
Outside, this is another interesting one. Outside of HN, Cook had 100 less carries, 100 than 9 of the 10 other running backs in that top 12. So not counting HN and himself. I think he was like 20th among all running backs.
In what?
In carries.
Yes. Well, his thing, he just, like, he was not a workhorse.
Yeah, first, second down.
Like, he, as someone, I owned James Cook last year. He was great. But watching the Bills games were pretty frustrating because he was damn near out there 50% of the time. He wouldn't even start the drive sometimes. Sometimes it would be Ty Johnson. Sometimes it would be Ray Davis. He was never in on third down. So he made the most of what he had.
If he had like a good first half, then like it just felt like you weren't going to get anything from the – like there was a game where I'm pretty sure he had like 3 touchdowns at half maybe, or two touchdowns. And then just like didn't.
That was a Thursday night game.
They were demolishing whoever they were playing. Might have been the Jags.
Oh man, I want to say it was like Dallas or Jacksonville. Anyway,
could be. Yeah. But so that as well. 34th in targets. You don't want that. Like you love to have a guy who at least will be looked at. And we know Buffalo, they love Ty Johnson. That's their
gross.
That's their for whatever reason. That's
Fuck
their
you, Ty Johnson.
Passing guy. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned also Ray Davis. So to go with the carries, also he was 22nd in just total touches amongst all running backs. James Cook. So just as you can see, clearly the touchdowns, you take away 6 of those touchdowns. Like, I mean, it's a much different outlook.
He's relying on the touchdowns.
Yeah, and then I mean, you already hit this. Bills like Ray Davis and Ty Johnson and will always be in on third down. Like that's just how it is. And then now, I mean, I can add another point, like this contract. It's like what's going to come of it.
Right.
This is just me.
I don't hate it. I don't hate the
This is
pick.
just me looking at it too. Like I literally watched him walking around practice today with like just moping, like head down. He had a 6 suit on though. It was like an all white tracksuit, and he was just slowly riding the bike.
I'm here, coach.
Yeah,
But not really.
So that's my pick out. My in is obvious. I mean, I'm going CMC. I'm all in on him.
I don't think it's that obvious. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are either super in or super out.
Yeah.
I feel like there's no middle ground.
That and being a Niner fan, like I want CMC to be good, but I really don't think there's much. Like this one's easy. Like if he's healthy,
If he's in, he's in.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's out, he's
so
out.
there's. I mean, I can add on that the Niners have the easiest schedule in the league because they were terrible last year. No Uke, no Debo. Well, no Uke to start. No Debo. It might just be a lot of Kittle and CMC. And I mean, yeah, this the going back to what 2017. It's like the best fantasy running back we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple with CMC. He's either killed you or he's won you a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, there was.
That's the question.
I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was the 2023. It was like 60% of championship teams
had him.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Which is like crazy.
It's pretty much like, I mean, I think he's missed almost 3 full seasons. So it's, going back to, what was he, like 2018 rookie, 2017?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know 2019 was his cracked year.
So almost half the years. Almost half the years, you're just like, uh-oh, what do I do now? Yeah. So that's one of the biggest shot calls in fantasy this year for sure. But you're in. So nice to hear.
I'm in.
Give the people confidence. All right, so I got...
Yeah, take them 1 overall, guys.
I got a couple of guys here that I feel pretty strongly about. Had this guy on my team last year too. Alvin Kamara, he's out. I think as a Kamara owner last year, he just had a couple massive games where I think this skewed. I know he had over 40 against Dallas. I want to say that was week 2. And I think as the year kind of went on and he was hurt at the end of the year too, he just kind of drifted off a little bit. And so,
you traded him to us.
Yeah, it was great. You're welcome. So just looking where they were at last year with Carr and then this year with Tyler Shohei. I'm not excited. And I know when Carr was out last year, Kamara, they just looked inept on offense. So the Saints in general, Olave, Kamara, I'm just like out. And I think even Kamara's top 10 year last year was skewed even in a couple big games that he had. The guy that is in, this is one of the guys, spoiler, before we talk about rankings, like he is one of the guys that I will be going after this year, Ken Walker. So I just talked about the weird situation in Seattle, but this is just a couple of proponents here of just, he needs to stay healthy. When he's in, he's definitely one of the top guys in the league, a touchdown machine, especially around the goal line. It was always weird with Charbonnet and him there.
He's an angry runner.
Yeah, angry runner, tough runner. Will Charbonnet take the goal line? Was it Walker? When Walker's in, he's the guy for sure. It's just injuries have kept him out. And I think them switching coordinators from, what was his name last year? It was like Ryan Grubb. It was more of a pass-happy coordinator from Washington with the Dunze and all those guys. And bringing in, I don't know his name, which I probably should have put in here, but Kubiak's son.
Clint?
Who's the dad?
Greg,
yeah, Clint Kubiak.
From the Saints?
Yes.
I think it's Clint.
Yeah.
There's actually a third one too, but I think it's Clint.
Basically, that whole family tree is just like, we want to run the ball, going back to the Texans days and all that. So, especially, like I said, with this weird passing attack in Seattle, if Ken Walker just stays on the field, more of like a CMC situation, he's going to be good.
Is he a receptions guy?
He can.
I guess it depends on the quarterback too.
He can, for sure. But he's going to be one guy that I'm targeting this year. He's kind of in that weird zone of running backs in like the middle rounds where you never really want to look at when it comes to running backs. But I think he's a guy that can give you a lot of upside for sure.
Yeah.
Receiver.
I got going out.
You're just trying to crush my heart in these segments, aren't you?
I got possibly the best receiver of our era. Like underrated.
Yeah.
But just so consistent. Mike Evans. I got Mike Evans out. I'm not saying that his streak is over, because give me the over 1,000 yards. But I do think Bucks eventually getting Godwin back. I think I mentioned it with Egbuka. Just like there's a lot of people there to be fed. Cade Otton had like a stretch of like 3-4 games there where he was like ridiculous. So it's just like, and if like, is Baker gonna be that same guy? There's just a lot. McMillan showing what he did at the end of the year last year. You drafted your first round pick was a receiver, which that's probably also a sign that like they know Evans is on the decline at least a little bit. I mean, they had to freaking force him to get that 1,000-yard streak last year. But yeah, I'm going out. Mike, you're out, and
Who's in?
Going Tyreek.
Oof.
I think he was actually hurt last year. Not really a lot to say here either, just because, I mean, going into last season, he was the first receiver off the board.
Him and CD, yeah.
Yeah, it was him and CD. So, assuming health, I feel like there's not really, like, you don't need to talk up Tyreek. But it's also not just assuming health with him. It's assuming health with his quarterback.
I think that's more of an issue.
So, yeah, I'm just banking on that for this prediction to stick. Also, for whatever reason, Jonnu Smith was like Tua's favorite target.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird. So they traded him, got back Minka and Ramsey. They traded Ramsey and Jonnu, got back Minka, which I just saw today. Minka picked off Tua for his first interception.
Hell yeah,
of training camp. But yeah, Tyreek in. I don't need to talk up his positives. He's up there with. He could easily be mentioned as what I just said about Evans, like probably one of the sickest receivers of our era, especially like playing fantasy. So
the olds.
Who you got receivers?
I got Terry McLaurin coming out, and this was kind of before the contract.
It was.
I think.
We made
yeah. So I mean, that could
kind of like my Cook thing. It lines up for you.
That could add a whole nother ripple to it. I just think for their amount of receptions he had versus the touchdowns he had, over 10 touchdowns last year, I just think there's some regression there. It's kind of just as simple as that.
He had some like
2 catches, 2 touchdowns.
I was gonna say he had some like 4 catches for 63 yards, but like one of them was like a 33-yard touchdown.
And I like Terry. Like, I think that there's no reason to think that Jaden will do anything different or like target someone else this year. I just think maybe the touchdowns kind of steer in a different way, and he might not be on the Manders anymore. So there's that. Guy I got going in. This is more of a deeper cut, I think, kind of in line with my Fields pick. If Rashee Rice, that situation in Kansas City is worse than we think, maybe it's like a 8-game suspension or 8 games instead of like 4.
You got Juju?
I got Justin Watson. No,
he's actually not there anymore.
Xavier Worthy, I think
that's a good one.
Where he started the last year as more of a gimmick guy.
Eric loves that.
Xavier Worthy last year from where he started versus where he finished in the regular season into the postseason. Like, you can clearly tell they want to get him involved, both in the short game with the gimmick stuff and down the field as well. I believed in the playoffs, him and Mahomes connected on a couple deep balls. So, with Kelsey being, another year older, Rice not being there, there's definitely, and they lost. I'm not saying Hopkins was like a target getter or a world beater or anything, but he's in Baltimore now. There's definitely a role there to be filled as the number 1 guy for Mahomes, which
I still have Juju.
I don't know, but I don't care if they do. If he's there or not, I don't care. So
I mean, yeah, Worthy's their wide receiver 1,
and especially with Worthy, I think if you can get him, and he could be like a sell high candidate too. Depending, you just have to monitor the Rice situation, because if it's like a 4-game suspension, I think Worthy's going to start the year off hot, and then maybe a sell high candidate depending on when Rice comes back. So those are the guys we wanted to talk about, versus where they were last year. Who's going in, who's going out. All right, that's all we had for you guys today. We're going to be, this is kind of the intro to our fantasy kind of overview as we head into the draft season. We got a lot of more content planned as far as fantasy leading you up into your drafts. We got some ranking stuff coming up. We're going to do a mock draft.
Try to get a mock draft in there.
Yep. We're just going to try and get our mindset into fantasy season because it's August. So it's time.
It is. Time to football. What did I just say it last week? There's football on every Thursday.
To February? Hell yeah. And yeah, we just posted a trivia video a couple days ago, so we'll link that here for you guys to click on. Out. Yeah, for sure. So we're just getting started here. That's all we got.
Yeah, hopefully in the upcoming, we might have some new additions back here. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see for you. But yeah, thanks for listening and watching. Peace. I can't think of Ryan Cohen's name.